Hi, hello, and welcome to another Drag Race outfit ranking video where I discuss my top 10 favorite looks from a Drag Race season. We are finally discussing season 12, one of my absolute favorite comfort seasons of the entire Drag Race franchise, because this came out during quarantine lockdown, so it really holds a special place in my heart. I love every one of these queens except for Redacted, and I think this is a brilliant cast, so it was hard for me to choose a top 10 as it always is. But I managed to do it, and I only switched out all of my top 10 within the last 5 minutes because I looked at the list and I did not like any of them anymore. I think when I originally watched this season, there were certain queens I was looking at and I was paying attention to that I really thought were serving it. And now, after a couple years have passed, I look back and I think those were grander in motion than they were in actual still photos. And some of these have a bigger impact for me now. So I'm not going to name any queens on who I swapped out. Y'all can make your own assumptions in the comments below. But let's get into it and make sure to be kind in your responses. If your favorite did not make it on here, it doesn't mean that I think that it's crap. It just wasn't my favorite. Starting in the number 10 spot, which goes to Gigi Goode in the Frozen Eleganza runway. Now, what I appreciated was that Gigi didn't go in a Disney direction and went in a 50s ice cream girl route. This look was so cute from head to toe with the addition of the socks. The belt that's here, I love the bow. The blue hair is really nice. It gives it a nice pop of color since everything is really monochromatic. And then this big ice cream was such a fun prop. I loved her trying to chew it on the runway. This is one of those looks that was really great in motion, but not so good in stills, so I think this had a bigger impact in the actual show than how it does here. But this was a really solid look and one of my favorites from that entire season of Gigi's. Then moving into the number 9 slot is Jada's entire ball package. I couldn't narrow it down to one thing. From her outfit that looks like maybe Babs would wear it in Space Jam, her rich basketball wife, this red lace on the Nude Illusion, and this beautiful sculpted hair, to using the balls like soap and making it seem like a bubble bath. And that was the illusion she was going for. I remember Jada winning the ball, but she didn't, and she should have, because this was the best package of everybody that night. Then in the number 8 slot belongs to Jada Essence Hall, once again in the color purple. I cannot stress enough how often I think about this circular hat that was balanced on top of her head. How beautiful this hair was, scooped to the side. I love the slit that's going up on the leg. The shoes were brilliant. Using a sparkly fabric like this, which caught light in photos and on the runway, Jada looked so good. And this is such a quintessential Jada look for me. I love her in this color. And she's one of the most memorable of that night to me. In the number 7 slot goes to Widow Von Du for Stars and Stripes. As I've gotten older, I've really started to appreciate politics more and making political statements and not being quiet about politics. And I think it's really cool to do a political statement on Drag Race, especially with the Black Lives Matter movement, which is so incredibly important and really was starting to get eyes on it around this time. And it was really starting to explode by the time this season had aired. So this was a really brilliant political statement. I love taking the idea of Stars and Stripes and applying that to the Black rights movement, making it known that, yes, this is a land of the free, but not everyone is being treated equal. And I think that was brilliant for this runway. In the number 6 slot goes to Jan's buttons and bows look. When I think buttons and bows, I think that's such a cool concept, but I don't know if everybody really did what I wanted to see. Everything was a little understated and low key. There were a couple girls who I think got it, and then there was Aiden Zane. But what Jan did was create a voodoo doll out of this concept, which was a really nice out of the box way of thinking about this. I think sometimes when queens go too out of the box, it's like, why did you go here? This doesn't make any sense. But this is just out of the box enough that it works. Because you think of a voodoo doll and it's gonna look like all kinds of things. It's gonna look a little creepy. It's gonna look a little demented. It might even look a little cutesy. And that's what this accomplishes. It manages to be cutesy and creepy And I love when people do that on Drag Race. Moving into the number 5 slot goes to Crystal Method's fall look. Now, I'm not a big fan of cosplay on Drag Race. We saw a lot of cosplay from Gigi Goode, and I think that she was really the first queen that we've seen do a cosplay look on the main stage and make it look really good. And then this last season, we got Megami doing a couple of cosplays, but they were a little understated. I think even Plastique in All Stars 8 did 1 or 2 cosplays, but made them really high fashion and drag. That's what this does here for Crystal's look. It's taking that really iconic Freddy silhouette, shape, color, and turning it into something visually interesting, draggy. Using the safety pins to hold all the fabric together was a really odd choice, but so effective because you get all these little glimmers of skin throughout it. The makeup is creepy, the hat is nice. I wish that the jack-o'-lantern bucket had some rhinestones on it or something, but I love this look. And what a brilliant idea for a fall runway. Moving into the number 4 slot is Jan's Night of 1,000 Michelle Visages. I am a little bit biased with putting this look so high up here. I am really biased towards this look because Glamazonian Airways is one of my favorite musicals of all time. And I know that is a controversial hot take, but it's one of my favorites. I love the way that it's constructed. I love how balanced and even all the writing is. I like all the voiceovers. I like the performance and how uniform everybody looks. And that week, Michelle had one of my favorite looks that she's ever done, probably one of the most memorable looks she's ever done. And I love that Jan literally recreated it from top to bottom, including that little hat and the way that the hair was kind of squished down on the one side. Everything about this is fun. I am still really cracked that Jan did not win that week because I think she had a stronger look than Gigi. But that's just me. As a matter of fact, I'm surprised that Jada didn't win that week because Jada had a stronger look and performance than Gigi. But that's neither here nor there. Jan looks amazing. I love Glamazonian Airways. I love this reconstruction. And I feel like when it comes to Night of 1,000 whatever, if you are going to do that look, you either need to commit to it 1,000% and recreate it completely from top to bottom, or go in a very creative route that is inspired by, looks like, and takes the essence of without copying directly. And Jan did an exact recreation and it was perfect. Moving into the number 3 slot goes to Jackie Cox's Stars and Stripes look. Again, much like Widows, I love a political statement. So to make a political statement like this and not back down from how important it is to bring up these issues and make people uncomfortable, because looks like this do make people uncomfortable. They're forced to look at their biases. They're forced to look at how they treat people and think about that. And to take the idea of Stars and Stripes and turn it into this beautiful, beautiful outfit was brilliant. And Jackie Cox remains one of my favorite queens of that season because she wasn't afraid to be herself, celebrate her heritage, and really go for it every single time. This was a powerful and beautiful look, and one of the most memorable of that night. In the number 2 slot goes to Rakum Sakura's Tulle look. I love this look because I'm a big slut for tulle. I used to want to make tulle out of everything, but I only had so much money when I was doing drag, so I couldn't really buy a lot of fabric. So tulle was one of those things that I would buy 4 or 5 yards out of and really try and make all my costumes bigger. Looking at this, I think this is something like 100 yards of tulle, maybe even more than that, and you can see how much is on here. This outfit is a beast, but it's not overwhelming. The pops of color in it are really nice. It looks like cotton candy, like a rainbow cotton candy. And I love the way that the hair even blends into the tulle so that it looks like it's just cascading down. This is a really impressive look for its construction because tulle can look messy if you don't handle it right. It can look junior if you don't handle it right, but this looks really high fashion, couture, like it would be down an actual Met Gala runway. And I think that Rakum looks incredible here. I'm sad that we didn't get to see more of her looks throughout the season. And then finally our number 1 goes to Crystal Method's Black Wedding. God, this is such a good look. Crystal doing a zombie theme for Black Wedding, going a little more Tim Burton-y Corpse Bride was brilliant. Love this huge hair on her, and I love the silhouette, love the makeup, doing this sort of half skeleton, half glamour look is beautiful. This is one of my favorite looks of Crystal's of all time. This look was so impressive and it remains impressive to this day. I think anytime that you are willing to go a little more on the spoopy horror side of drag and maybe not go for the traditional glamour cunt look, I think that's a good choice. I think doing freak out drag is a good choice. And this is a little freaky. You wouldn't normally see this on a Drag Race runway, except for a girl who is willing to go that extra step. And if I'm not totally mistaken, I believe Crystal came out with baby powder or something in her hand and coughed it as if she had just come out and it was dust that was coming out of her mouth. And I thought that was also a really brilliant performance. And that concludes my favorite looks from season 12 of Drag Race. What were your favorite looks from this season? Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you on the flip. Hey, thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, make sure to click that like button. And if you want to see more, hit subscribe. Goodbye.